Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Inside the Dream. Today, I am joined by my good friend and colleague, General Manager at the Porsche Center of Saskatchewan, Scotty Taylor. Scotty, thanks for joining me, my friend.
Hold your applause, everyone. Hold your applause.
I start every podcast off with the same question, and that is, what is your first memory of Porsche?
You know, it's kind of hard to say. I remember having memories as a young kid with 911s and all the the hype about the car. But the one that really got to me is actually when we got the very first franchise in 2010. Porsche Canada came by and they did a ride and drive with us. And you're doing these, you always see these posters and you're in the car business and you think these cars are so cool, but when you actually get behind the wheel of one and we got to drive one around the city, I'll never forget that the one thing that one of the instructors said, there is speed limits everywhere, but there is no rule on how fast you get to those speed limits. And then I kind of put that together. I was like, oh my God, these cars are so much fun. So you start really going on these things and you're like, hey, this is really cool. This brand is amazing. So that is my real first fond memory of driving a Porsche. That was one of those things that, you just kind of look back going, that was 15 years ago now. It's 2010.
It's incredible. And like what you say is once you get in and experience it, that's what people latch onto. There's these people that are so obsessed with the culture, so obsessed with Porsche. Once they get in and get to drive one, you're just hooked. It's like a drug.
It is. It's like a drug. And it's one of those things, and our clients are very similar to that too. Like once they get into one and they kind of drive one, they go, I want another one.
Yeah.
And then, I want a faster one. So now they have 2 cars or 3 cars, and it's like, oh, geez, this is just like kind of what I get. It's like a drug. It just keeps going and going and going.
Sounds a little bit like the owner of our group, Vaughn.
Where we're sitting right now.
We're sitting in front of some of his Porsche collection. We're very lucky to have been doing it in this space.
Some really cool stuff in here.
So I've come up in the industry with you. We're connected from that. We're connected not through family, but as close as you can get to it. Your relationship with Melissa Wyant, and then just how close I am with the family.
Yeah.
So it's been 10 years for me now. How long have you been in the industry?
I started selling. Well, I was going to go to university, and Michael and Vaughn called me and said, "Why don't you come sell cars at Ford?"
That sounds like a call I got.
Yeah. I was like, that was 2001. Now here I am now. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's almost 25
Incredible.
years, right, of being in the industry. It kind of dates yourself. I didn't realize how old I was until I said that. But that's a long time to be doing something for it. So it's been quite a ride, ups and downs, and it's been fantastic though. And I've been at Porsche now for 9 years, I think it is.
Is that right?
Yeah. So I mean, it's just been fantastic. I mean, it's a great brand, great people. Our clientele is just phenomenal as well too. It's just really fun to work with them. You feel like when you're coming to work, it feels like you're going to hang out with people you just want to be with, right? So that's like our team is just a team, and we come to work and we have a lot of fun every single day. And there's challenges and there's lots of good things, but we do have a lot of fun as well too, right?
Yeah, it's an amazing brand to be a part of, to say the least. You came up, and correct me when I'm wrong, not if I'm wrong. You started on the sales floor at Jubilee Ford, just like I did.
Yeah.
Did you go to JLR after that as a manager?
I was JLR. I was actually a salesperson.
Okay.
And then moved to the finance office in 2009-10 for Audi and Mercedes-Benz.
Yep.
And then Vaughn got the franchise for Porsche, so I became the finance manager for Porsche as well too.
Okay.
And then a short time after, I became the sales manager at Audi, and then GSM at Mercedes-Benz, and so on and so forth. So.
And I started right at your transition, I believe, from Audi over to Mercedes-Benz.
Sounds about right.
So we've done a lot of really, really, really cool things, you and I together.
Just a few, yeah.
Very fortunate to have my good friend managing another Porsche dealership. We've traveled the world many times, doing many things.
Yeah.
What's one that stands out to you? Do you have one that stands out to you?
I think there's lots of them. And this one's obviously with you, but I remember once we were on the Autobahn in Germany.
Yeah.
And I was taking a video of you while you were driving. You're going super fast, and then I ended up going 260 some kilometers an hour for probably, it felt like 7 to 10 minutes, but it wasn't that long.
Yeah.
Probably like 8 seconds, but it felt like a long time. And I'm sitting there holding on. You're like, oh my goodness. And we were having the best time ever, laughing. It was raining, and I wasn't keeping up to the lead car. And I thought I was going real fast. But that was
wild.
It was wild. There were semis in my peripheral, just going like this. I was like, what's happening? What's happening? Just keep it straight. I remember you saying that. There might have been some other words in there too. Can't repeat right now.
There was a couple close calls there. I've got one of me just narrowly getting out of the way of an oncoming semi.
Yeah.
But we were younger then.
We were younger then,
reckless.
yeah, and a little more reckless. Well, maybe you were a little more reckless. I'm still reckless, but yeah, there was one of the people behind us that passed the semi, and they shouldn't have been passed
Yes.
the semi. That was a scary one, yeah.
So that's the introduction to Porsche. Actually, it's funny. Evan and Jason have both mentioned that on previous episodes that I've done with them, and just how amazing it is.
Yeah.
It's just incredible. And on that trip, is there anything else that stuck out to you? Maybe one of the factories or anything that we got to do?
Yeah, I think we had a really good trip. I thought it was a 4-day trip to I2P, they call it. So that's everything with Porsche as an abbreviation, right? But the one that was really cool, I really enjoyed the Leipzig factory.
Yep.
Just the way that the two factories are totally different between Zuffenhausen and Leipzig. Those two factories couldn't be any more different. When you go into them, like, I mean, I understand that Stuttgart, Leipzig Stuttgart and Zuffenhausen is the home of Porsche, right? So they are in the original spot where they started, and they keep building around it, right? But the factory is quite a bit older than
very old,
and like it's not like state of art like the cars, right? So they still do a great job out of there, obviously. But when you get into Leipzig, they have wild horses running around. They have a track there. Like, this is just like, what is going on here? Like, it's incredible, right? Those are really cool. I mean, I do think that when you walk through these factories, I've been very fortunate in my career. I've been to Mercedes-Benz one, I've been to an Audi one, and they're all really cool. But Porsche is just Porsche, right? It's different, right? It's just like, we got to go spend some time on the track there as well too. We've been very fortunate. We've had a few track days together over the years. So people are like, when I talk to friends outside of this business, like, that was your job? You got to drive on the track? I'm like,
I know.
Yeah, just isn't that normal?
My favorite one is the F1 track in Barcelona.
That was
went
awesome.
there for their Taycan launch.
Yeah.
And I'm driving down the straightaway on the F1 track in Barcelona doing well over 200 kilometers an hour, just thinking, like, what is going on here?
It was incredible.
Unbelievable.
I was playing a video game with my kid, my 8-year-old, and we were on that track. Hey, I'm like, hey, buddy, I've been on this track. I've driven on this track. He's like, yeah, right. I'm like, no, seriously, I know where the corner is. And we're doing the corners.
Yeah.
It was really cool actually to do, because like, he's like, wow, that's so neat. And like, you kind of just don't think about it when you're doing it. And I do remember that one. That was a Taycan launch. And that's when this was all new. EVs were so new, right? And I was wearing like normal pants that day. And we hadn't driven one yet. There was 3 different sections, I think. There was a street drive, dynamic drive, and then there was a track drive. Our group ended up being on the track first. So we had seen these cars, but we hadn't driven them. So we didn't know what was going to happen. I had put everything away, had my cell phone in my pocket, and I hammered on the throttle. My phone flew back to the back seat of the car. It was gone. I was gone. And I was just starting the track drive. I was like, what just happened?
It's the torque.
That's how much power they have, right? And you're just not used to it. Now that you've driven them, I've been in trouble in a couple of those cars before because they go pretty fast. So,
one of my favorite memories is the trip that we did to Spain again, but Tenerife, when we went to the Cayenne launch, but specifically getting to drive the Dakars.
The Dakars.
It was just one of the coolest experiences that I've ever had.
That is incredible, right? Like, that we didn't know that was happening either, right?
Nope,
they took us to this.
Surprise.
I thought it was almost like a garbage dump. They were taking us up this road, and we ended up at this off-road track where they let us drive these Dakars, which is still probably one of my favorite 911s ever made, because I think it's just such a rugged, cool car. It's a winter 911 in Saskatchewan. We have a bit of winter. It still feels like winter. It's May right now. It's close right now. But I just think it's such an all-round amazing machine to drive that you could. Like, lots of our clients do drive their 911s in the winter, but that's one that people can drive.
Meant to, and go and do the crazy things.
Yeah, but that was a really cool experience too. Like, we went up that road, and I was like, what's going to happen here? And all of a sudden, there's 30 cars sitting there.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, doing hot laps.
One thing I know that you're proud of, I'm very proud of it, and that's our teams. We both have very, very strong teams behind us that make us both look very good. This year, you've won Premier Dealer. You've also won the PACE Award. We were fortunate enough to be there with you.
Congratulations to you guys as well too.
Thanks so much. This is your 3rd Premier Dealer?
This is our 2nd in 3 years, and we had 4 prior to that.
4 prior to that. Yeah. So always been a really strong dealership, really represented the brand to a high level. It's a real big accomplishment, and wanted to acknowledge you and your team for that. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and I mean, going back to saying team, right? I consider myself more of a coach than even a general manager in most cases. In my full-time job, I have a part-time job coaching my kids hockey as well too. So everything I do is kind of coaching, and we couldn't do it without our great teams that we have behind us, and they do really great work, not behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, with the clients, with everything. But they wear it on their sleeve as well too. You know, this is a really cool brand to be with. It's a lot of fun, like I said earlier, to come to work every day. And it shows with them as well too, because they like coming to work. They enjoy the environment. They enjoy being here with the people they work with, and with our clients as well too. That you couldn't do without them, right? So that's really important to us, to your success, my success, everyone's success, is having that team around you that can really, you know, lift you up even if you're having a tough day, right? It doesn't matter what position you are in the dealership or anything in life, you have that person to help lift you up, you know, and pat you on the back and pick you up if you're having a tough day. They're there for you.
Not every day is going to be a good one, so you need there are people to support you and pick you up.
Yeah, it's very true. So,
so we are in a pretty cool backdrop here. Can you tell us a little bit about kind of where we're sitting? I know it's not totally finished. We're lucky to have snuck in here early.
Yeah, this is the Galleria. It's literally right next door to the Porsche dealership. There used to be a building that was all connected. Now it's kind of two separate buildings. But this was originally where Porsche Center Saskatchewan started.
Oh, wow.
Right? So where we're sitting right now was the showroom. There was 3 cars. Like this area right here, there's 3 cars in here. And back then they didn't have the Macan. The Cayenne had just been introduced, right? So it was kind of like a new thing. So the cars were all quite a bit smaller, right?
Yeah.
So this was the original dealership right here. And on this side was a couple desks. There was 2 bay doors. You could take deliveries out of the one side, and it was quite something, right? That was the beginning of what we have now. But this is the Galleria where Vaughn's collection is kept. For the most part, you can't really see in the camera now, but there's a few restoration products back there.
Yep.
His Golf livery are all on this side right here. We've got a couple 356s behind us, which is such a cool car.
My favorite.
Yeah, it's such a cool
Which
car.
is incredible for me to say, but it is.
But they're really just iconic, right? The way when you look at them. We just got some really neat stuff in here, and he's got a few more projects behind the scenes here you can't see on camera now that are, you know, they're really cool. Very resto, right? They have some work to do, but just goes to speak of what this brand means to this group and to Vaughn as well too. These cars are just phenomenal, right? Like, I mean, they just really are. And, you know, I was in here last week with Vaughn actually looking at some stuff, and there was people peering in through the windows.
Oh, I bet.
Like, and I kind of, there's no signage yet. We don't have it quite ready where we're ready to open it up to the public. We do bring our clients in here now that we have it cleaned up, because when we had first moved in here, there was just stuff coming in. So now it looks really good in here, and the cars are spaced out nicely, and there's some really neat stuff in here. Like, I mean, we really have some good stuff.
Yeah, pretty excited about sitting in here today.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? So.
Well, Scotty, I'm glad to have jumped on. You've been a very good friend to me for a very long time. You've been a great colleague of mine. It's the amount of things that we've shared throughout the years together. It's more so than probably anybody else in the group. And everybody watching that knows that that's trouble.
Yeah, that could be proud. Fireworks.
But I do appreciate you taking the time to jump on with me. I'm very proud,
Anytime,
very impressed of you and your team. So thanks so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you too, buddy. Thanks.
Thanks for joining us again, guys. If you liked today's episode, please like, share, or follow. We really appreciate your guys' support. And until the next episode, have a great one.